It's a terror case that has made headlines in this region for more than 2 decades now. The United States says it's still seeking the extradition of a Palestinian woman in Jordan convicted of helping a suicide bomber in Jerusalem in 2001, but declined to comment on a request from the family of one of the victims for a meeting with President Joe Biden. In August, it will be 21 years since a Palestinian bomber walked into a Jerusalem pizzeria and blew himself up, killing 15 people. One of them was an Israeli-American teenager, Malka Roth. She was 15 at the time. Her family have asked for a meeting with Biden when he visits Israel over the next 2 days. They want him to press Jordan, a close American ally, to send Ahlam Tamimi to the US for trial. So to hear more about their appeal in their own words, we now welcome the father of Malka Roth, Arnold, and he joins us from Jerusalem. Arnold, thank you so much for your time on this day. It's unimaginable pain losing a child. President Joe Biden is also a bereaved parent. Tell us more about the letter you have sent to the US president. What did it say?
The letter doesn't try to express pain at loss. It tries to express the absence of justice after so many years. It's one thing to lose a child, and I'm not going to expand on that. It's another to see the murderer conducting herself as a hero, which indeed she is. She's an icon of, she's a celebrity and an icon of terror in Jordan, phenomenally successful, phenomenally influential throughout the Arab world. Our letter to President Biden came to say, it's been too many years. The United States says it's got charges against it, which of course it does, but they started in 2013. 2013, a judge signed off on these charges. They were kept secret until 2017. More than 5 years have gone by since they were made public. It's abundantly clear to us, and we're not insiders, we only know what you know, that no one is really pursuing this matter of extradition, that in some sense, the United States is okay with paying lip service to bringing this woman to justice, but leaving the Jordanians unbothered by her freedom and their failure to comply with the extradition treaty between the two countries. That's really what it comes down to. There's a breach of a bilateral treaty between Jordan and the United States. The United States says there's a breach. They say it in a kind of a whisper. And the Jordanians say, no, there's no breach at all. No, the treaty, it's invalid. And there's nobody outside of the inner circle of Jordanians who agrees with them. It's a nonsense. So we want President Biden to do what is good for the United States and to stand up not only for justice, but for the dignity and the standing of the United States, which keeps Jordan alive.
And Arnold, the US president is in the region here in the Middle East starting Wednesday. We know that he's going to be in Saudi Arabia on the weekend. Jordan isn't one of the places on his itinerary, but officials from Amman are taking part in that summit in Saudi Arabia this weekend. To your knowledge, is he likely to address this during the weekend meetings?
I can tell you what I can say from my knowledge, and that is that not a single US official has made a single public statement ever about this extradition and the failure of the Jordanians to bring this woman to American justice. Never, not a single instance. So on a straight line extrapolation, my wild guess is, no, it won't be mentioned there. That doesn't mean that the issue can't be advanced. But the Jordanians are not really a party to this. They are totally the tail wagging the dog. They are the junior partner in this. They are the second largest recipient in the world of US taxpayer-funded foreign aid. They have every reason to jump when the United States says so. And if they are holding on to this perpetrator of a mass murder, you can be certain that there's no one bothering them inside this US administration or the two that came before it, the Trump and the Obama. So let the president pick his own time. It would have been good if he would have agreed to meet with my wife and me. I think that you learn a lot when looking into people's eyes and simply hearing the reasonableness of their position. We're not out to make political points. We're not pro-Republican or anti-Democrat or the opposite. We just want justice to be done, and that's the nightmare that we've lived through all these years.
So tell us then about the efforts to try to get this face-to-face meeting, as you put it, with President Joe Biden when he is here in Israel in the next 2 days. Who have you spoken to? What kind of reaction have you got on the local side about making this meeting even happen?
Excellent question. What we've done is deliver a letter addressed personally to President Biden. Through my own sources, I know that the letter was received and considered and pored over by the relevant officials. And the response came to Associated Press last night. There's been no response to us. What Associated Press received from the White House was a statement that says we will not be answering the Roths. And, there's nothing so terribly surprising about any of that, because we've been given either the silent treatment or really humiliating misrepresentations in our faces from a long line of American officials. Now, I don't know what sort of impression a person gets from meeting me for the first time, but people who know me will tell you that I'm almost as polite as my wife, and we're reasonable people. We have no bones to pick. We don't have any special claims. We're not looking for a statue in honor of our daughter. What we want is American justice and American bilateral treaties to be honored. It seems to me that we ought to be at the head of a long line of people asking for exactly the same thing, which brings me to a particularly painful aspect to all of this, because we know that relations with Jordan are somehow a subject that people get really vexed over and start babbling nonsense sometimes. It stuns us, simply stuns us, that there isn't a long line of Jewish American leaders standing shoulder to shoulder with us, and never has been, in making these representations to the US government. We don't want any private benefit. We're not getting our daughter back. We're not looking for a postage stamp to be issued in her memory. What we want is the indictment, the criminal prosecution under American law to continue. We didn't create it. The American Department of Justice did. Why is it stuck all these years? Why are we left to be wailing in the dark, hoping and expressing our passion for justice to be done? I don't understand that.
I can hear your pain. I can feel your pain. We will be watching to see if there's progress in this fight for justice, and may Malki's memory be a blessing. Arnold Roth, thank you so much for speaking to us from Jerusalem on this day. Thank you.
Thank you, Benita. Thank you.